Why did you leave me? Why did you leave me here, all alone? Those words. They echo in the dark, bouncing off the walls of a room that feels too small, too suffocating, as if the air itself has turned against you. Imagine standing there, your heart hammering against your ribs like a trapped bird, staring at someone you love, someone who looks like your sister but isn't, not anymore. Her voice is distorted, a jagged tear in the fabric of reality, and her eyes are voids of endless white. She isn't asking because she wants to know. She's asking because she wants you to come back. Back to the place where the pain is absolute, back to the accident. If you're watching this alone, I have to warn you. What happens next isn't just a story. It's a reminder that sometimes the dead don't stay dead. And if you think you're safe just because the lights are on, you might want to think twice. Stick with me, because this goes to places you won't see coming, and honestly, you don't want to face the end of this story in the dark by yourself. Before we rewind time to where this nightmare truly began, before we meet the family that thought a trip home would fix everything, you need to know the secret that's hiding in the shadows. An explosion tears through a mountain road, ing everything in its path. A father watches, tears streaming down his face, not because of the fire, but because he knows the terrifying truth standing right behind him. His children are there. They are talking to him, they are touching him, but they have been dead for days. They are ghosts who don't know they've died, trapped in a loop of grief and rage, hunted by a spirit that just wants her family back together. And the mysterious woman in white? She's been watching it all, smiling, because she knows exactly how to manipulate the dead. Keep your eyes locked on this, because by the time we get back to this moment, nothing will ever look the same again. Now, let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning, where the seeds of this tragedy were first planted. The scene opens on a night so black it feels heavy, like a physical weight pressing down on the earth. Inside a dimly lit room, the air is electric with unseen energy. Momo, a young woman with fear etched into her face, is standing in the center. But it's not Momo anymore. Something else has taken the wheel. Her body is rigid, her movements jerky and unnatural, as if an invisible hand is pulling her strings. Standing before her are her three siblings, Arif, Joy, and Needy. They are frozen, paralyzed by a mixture of terror and disbelief. The thing wearing Momo's skin speaks. It only has one question, one demand that it repeats over and over, a broken record of despair. Why did you leave me? I'm lonely. Stay with me. The sound isn't human. It grates against the nerves, a high-pitched whine mixed with a guttural growl. Arif, the eldest, tries to step forward. He's the protector, the responsible one, but even he is shaking. He tries to reason, his voice trembling as he says, "That's not Momo, that's Sufi." He takes a cautious step closer, reaching out, desperate to snap his sister out of this trance. He just wants to touch her, to shake her back to reality. But the moment his fingertips graze her skin, the world shifts. A surge of energy, cold and violent, rips through the room. It's not just Momo, it's everyone. The moment Orif touches her, the connection is made. Joy and Needy, who were standing nearby, are caught in the backlash. One by one, their eyes roll back. The whites of their eyes vanish, replaced by a terrifying, milky blankness. And then, from their mouths, it comes. A thick black smoke pours out, twisting and turning in the air like a living serpent. It's a visual of pure evil, a manifestation of the possession that has taken hold of them all. And just like that, the screen tears. We are ripped away from that terrifying present and thrown back into the past. Days earlier, before the possession, before the madness, we find ourselves in a gritty, urban rooftop. The wind is howling, whipping at clothes, but the tension here is hotter than the sun. It's Joy. He's cornered. Three thugs, men with eyes like sharks and fists like bricks, have backed him up against the ledge of the roof. They aren't here to chat. They are here to collect. Joy owes them money, a lot of it, and he's late, very late. The leader grabs Joy by the collar, his breath smelling of cheap tobacco and menace, screaming in his face. They are threatening to throw him off the edge, to let him fall to the concrete below unless the money is produced right now. Joy, sweating, his heart pounding in his throat, tries to bargain. He's a gambler, always looking for an angle, always believing the next roll of the dice will save him. He looks at them, pleading. If I'm dead, who pays you? You kill me, you get nothing. He lays it out simply. Give him a week, just 7 days. He swears he'll get the money, and as collateral, he points down to the street to a sleek black car parked below. That's my brother's car, and Arif, if I don't pay, take the car. It's worth more than what I owe. The thugs look at each other. They know, Arif, they know the car is valuable. It's not the cash they wanted, but it's something. With a final shove that nearly sends Joy tumbling over the edge, they agree. They warn him, though, with a look that says this is his last chance. As they walk away, Joy slumps against the railing, breathing hard. He's bought himself time, but the clock is ticking, and he has no idea how he's going to beat it. Cut to a different kind of pressure. We see Arif now. He's in a high-rise office, surrounded by glass and steel, but he looks just as trapped as Joy was on that roof. He is drowning in work. He's good at what he does, maybe too good, and his boss knows it. He's the guy who never says no. The guy who works weekends, who answers emails at midnight, who hasn't taken a vacation in years. But today his boss notices. He sees the dark circles under Arif's eyes, the slump in his shoulders. The boss, surprisingly, tells him to stop. He tells Arif to take this upcoming holiday, spend it with family. The boss insists he'll handle the meeting tonight. Arif can take the time off. For the first time in forever, Arif feels a weight lift. He can finally breathe. While Arif is getting this rare good news, we check in on Momo. She's at home, working remotely at her computer. The glow of the screen illuminates her face in the dim room. Suddenly, the silence is broken by the ring of a video call. It's Arif. He's not just calling Momo. He's setting up a group call with everyone. We see Needy in her own world. She's a fashion designer, surrounded by fabrics and sketches, stressed out of her mind. A client is calling, but she ignores it to answer Arif. When she picks up, the first thing Arif asks is, "Where's Sufi?" Why isn't she on the call? It turns out Sufi's phone is broken. She lives back home in the village, far away from the city chaos, and her old phone finally gave up the ghost. But that's not the main point. Arif drops the news. He canceled the meeting. He's free. And that means only one thing. They are all going home. The excitement is palpable, but for Needy, it's a spike of anxiety. She has a deadline. A massive project due in 2 weeks. If she goes home now, to the middle of nowhere, she never finish it. She hesitates, but then the guilt trip starts. The siblings point out that it's been 4 years. 4 long years since they've been back to the village. They've been planning this for ages. Needy can't be the one to ruin it now. Joy, Momo, and Arif all chime in, wearing her down. Finally, Needy relents. She pushed the deadline. She's going home. Now let's go to the village. It's quiet, peaceful, a stark contrast to the noisy city. We see Sufi, the youngest sister. She's sweet, gentle, the heart of the family. She manages to charge her broken phone just long enough to get WhatsApp open, and there it is, the message. Her siblings are coming. Tomorrow, her face lights up. It's the best news she's heard in years. That night, the city siblings are packing. Needy drives over to Arif's place since they have an early start. Arif is happy to see her. As she unpacks, she pulls out a doll. It's a gift for Sufi, a little doll Sufi has always wanted. Needy sets it on the bed, intending to wrap it, but in the chaos of the early morning rush, she forgets it. Back in the village, we meet their father, Yujung. He's an old man now, kind but tired. He's overjoyed that his children are returning after so long. But the peace doesn't last long. There's a knock at the door. It's a frantic neighbor. Something is wrong, terribly wrong. There's a girl in the village named Mila. She's been possessed. A jinn, a malevolent spirit, has taken hold of her. Yujing doesn't hesitate. He's a man of faith, a man who knows how to handle these things. He grabs his tools, his prayer beads, and heads out the door. But before he leaves, he turns to Sufi. He tells her, stern but loving, "Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone. I don't know when I'll be back." We see Mila. It's a horrifying sight. She is contorted, her body twisting in ways that shouldn't be possible, her voice not her own. Yujing arrives, and the ritual begins. The jinn inside Mila is powerful. It speaks, its voice echoing from the girl's throat, promising Yujing revenge. It claims it came from the jungle, and it will have its due, but Yujing is strong. He ignores the threats. He chants, he prays, and with a final surge of spiritual force, he drives the jinn out. Mila collapses, exhausted but free. Her parents weep with relief, thanking Yujing, but as he walks away, the air feels heavy. The jinn's words hang in the silence. Revenge. The next morning, the sun rises over the city, and the journey begins. Momo drives over to pick everyone up. There's a frantic energy as they load up the car. They are laughing, excited, ready for the road trip. But in the rush, as they pull away, Nettie realizes with a sinking feeling in her stomach. She forgot the bag with the doll. It's still sitting on the bed at Arif's apartment. Too late now. The car hits the open road, the miles fly by. At the village house, Sophia's busy. She's cleaning the yard, trying to make everything perfect for their arrival. She's so focused, humming a little tune to herself, that she doesn't notice the movement behind her. A shadow shifts, a presence, but she shakes it off. Then the sound she's been waiting for, a car horn. They're here. The reunion is pure emotion. Doors fly open, and Sufi is running, hugging her brothers and sisters. They haven't seen each other in 4 years. The laughter is loud, genuine. But amidst the joy, Yujing stands in the doorway, watching. And just beyond the gate, standing silently in the shadows, is a woman. She's dressed in white, pale, and mysterious. She watches them, unnoticed, a silent observer. That evening, the house is alive again. Sufi has cooked all their favorite dishes. The siblings are staying in their old rooms. As they settle in, memories come flooding back. They're talking about childhood, about how much things have changed. Momo looks at Sufi and admits something surprising. She says, being alone in this house? It doesn't scare me anymore. Not even if there are demons. Sufi looks confused. Why? Momo smiles. Because we're here, but the mood shifts when they notice Sufi is still holding on to her old ragged doll, the one from when she was little. Needy feels a pang of guilt. She apologizes profusely for forgetting the new doll. Sufi, being the angel she is, just smiles and says it's okay. We flash back to their childhood to understand why. Sufi was always soft, a target for bullies. The other kids would torment her. But her siblings were her shield. We see a scene where bullies rip apart Sufi's doll. Little Needy is there, sewing it back together with careful stitches. And to make Sufi feel safe, Needy ties a red string bracelet around her wrist, a protection charm. Sufi loved that bracelet. She's worn it every day since. Back in the present, dinner is a warm, chaotic affair. Yujing is asking about everyone's lives. Arif is thriving in his job. Needy is about to open her own boutique. Momo's project is going well. But then there's Joy, unemployed in debt, trying to keep a smile on his face. Yujing doesn't scold him. He just tells him to be patient, to pray for success. He tells Sufi she should think about moving to the city, to be with her siblings, to learn from them. But Sufi refuses. She won't leave her father alone. Not now, not while he's getting older. The dinner wanes down. Yujing's visa flashes. Just for a second, something off. We see how much Sufi loves him. She insists on doing the dishes herself, refusing any help from Arif. She just wants to take care of him. Later, in the privacy of their room, Arif gives Sufi a gift. A new smartphone. Her face lights up. She's overjoyed. Joy, always the joker, chimes in. Hey, my phone is broken too. Where's mine? Arif shoots back. If you didn't gamble away all your money, you could buy your own. Joy laughs it off. If I win big, I'll buy you a car, big brother. He leaves. And Sufi spends the night setting up her new phone, hiding it in the wardrobe like a treasure. The next morning, the sun is bright, but the house is somber. Joy is sick, burning up with fever. Arif is worried. Momo checks Needy, and she has a fever too. It's strange. They were fine last night. Arif tells Momo to go to the kitchen, make some soup, get some food into them. Maybe they're just weak from stress or hunger. Arif steps outside for a smoke. He's quit, but with everything going on, his nerves are frayed. He needs it. As he stands there, the mysterious woman in white appears again. She walks right up to him. She introduces herself as Madame Rose. She lives nearby, and she asks him a question that chills his blood. Have you seen Sufi? Arif is stunned. Sufi? Yes, she's inside. Madame Rose smiles, a cold, knowing smile. I know many things, she says, and I know the explanations for many things. If you want to know the truth, come to my house. Before Arif can ask what she means, Momo calls him from the kitchen, breaking the trance. He looks back, but Madame Rose is gone, just vanished. Momo asks who he was talking to. Just a neighbor, Arif mutters, confused. Back inside, the tension is rising. Needy is terrified. She keeps seeing things, shadows. She feels like she's being watched. They argue about going out to look for Yujing, who still hasn't returned from the Milla incident. Joy snaps at Nettie, telling her to stop acting like she knows everything. He brings up the past, revealing a secret that shatters the family dynamic. It turns out Joy isn't their biological brother. He's adopted. And when they were kids, their father, a humble Quran teacher, didn't have enough money to support everyone. Joy sacrificed everything. He faked his way out of school, took his tuition fees, and gave them to their father so Arif could stay in school. He worked odd jobs in the market from the time he was a child just to put food on their table. He never told them. He just took the burden, letting Needy call him a burden to his face today. The revelation hangs heavy in the air. Joy storms off, hurt and angry. Arif follows him, trying to apologize, trying to make him understand how much he appreciates that sacrifice, but the damage is done. The cracks in their reality are starting to show. Meanwhile, Needy is in her room. She's staring into a mirror and she sees something terrifying. Her own reflection. It's not her. It's a rotting, monstrous version of herself. She screams. Arif decides he has to find their father. He and Momo prepare to leave. But when Arif reaches for his car keys, his blood runs cold. The keys, they aren't in his pocket. He remembers now. He left them in the car. The car that exploded. The car that... Wait, the car that exploded? Why did he think that? He shakes his head, confused. They take Momo's car instead. They drive out. But on the main road, something impossible happens. Arif sees Sufi standing by the side of the road. She looks sad, so incredibly sad. Arif slams on the brakes. He gets out, chasing her into the jungle. Momo follows, terrified. They run deeper and deeper into the woods. The sun sets, plunging the jungle into darkness. They get turned around. The path seems to loop back on itself. They are lost in a labyrinth of trees. Suddenly, Arif sees something hanging from a bridge. A red string, just like Sufi's bracelet. He reaches for it, but a terrifying screech tears through the air. He looks up, and the string is gone. He sees Sufi again. She's holding the doll Needy forgot to bring. She's crying, "Don't leave me. Stay with me." Arif is terrified, but also desperate. He wants to help her. But then something changes. The spirit lunges at him. Arif falls, scrambling backward in fear. He runs. Momo finds him. They are both shaken. They manage to find their way out of the jungle, stumbling onto the main road. And there she is again. Madame Rose. She guides them back to the house, but her presence is unsettling. They arrive back at the house, exhausted. Momo is freaking out. She doesn't trust Madame Rose at all, but Arif is desperate. He feels like he's losing his mind. They go inside. Things are escalating. Joy and Needy are in the living room. Joy apologizes to Needy for his behavior. They hug, making peace, but then Joy freezes. He looks behind Needy. Needy turns. The Needy he was just hugging is gone, vanished into thin air. He realizes he was hugging a ghost. Panic sets in. They all gather in the girl's room. They decide to sleep together for safety. Momo insists on keeping the lights on. She's scared. The room is silent, save for the sound of their breathing. Then, a noise, like a broom sweeping. Momo starts yelling at nothing. Arif gets up to turn the light off, but the switch won't work. It flickers on and off by itself. Then Arif sees her, Sufi, standing right next to Needy's bed. Her eyes are hollow. She's crying. "Stay with me," Arif screams. The lights go out completely. When they come back on, Sufi is gone, but the fear is just beginning. Morning comes, but it brings no relief. Jay and Nettie are deathly sick now. Arif tries to take care of them. He sends Momo to the kitchen to make food. While Momo is cutting vegetables, the tap turns on by itself, spraying water everywhere. She slips, cutting her hand. As she reaches for a cloth, a hand reaches out of the darkness and closes the drain cover. Momo screams and runs. Outside, Arif is smoking again. Madame Rose appears. She tells him the only way to fix this is to talk to Sufi. She gives him a ritual, a paper with a chant. He has to sit facing west, holding Sufi's doll, and read it. But she demands a price. She won't say what it is, but the look in her eyes says it won't be cheap. That night, the house becomes a nightmare. Jay wakes up from a nightmare, screaming. He saw Sufi under the bed. Needy looks. There's nothing there but the doll. But when she looks at Jay, she screams. He scratched himself raw, clawing at his skin in his sleep. Arif brings Momo inside. Momo finally believes now. She saw something in the garden. A hand grabbed her. They argue about what to do. Needy wants to run. She's packing her bags. Arif tries to stop her. Father told us to wait here. Suddenly a knock at the door. It's Madame Rose. She's here to collect. But before she can step inside, Jay slams the door in her face. But her voice carries through the wood, laughing. You have no idea what kind of trouble you are in. The house is falling apart. The windows fly open. Wind howls through the rooms, knocking things over. Arif decides to do the ritual. He takes the doll, sits facing west, and begins to chant. The chant sounds like a distorted version of a Quranic recitation. It sounds wrong. Momo hears it and covers her ears. Arif's voice rises. He is obsessed now. He thinks this will bring her peace, but Momo realizes it's something else. She yells at him to stop. She thinks Madame Rose tricked him into summoning something evil. Suddenly, Momo is thrown backward. She hits the wall and collapses. When she gets up, her eyes are white. Her mouth is open and black smoke pours out. She is possessed, just like in the opening scene. She looks at Arif and the voice comes out. Why did you leave me? Arif reaches out to her, touching her shoulder. It's okay, Momo. The moment he touches her, it happens again. The energy transfers. Jay, Needy, or they all convulse. Their eyes turn white. The black smoke fills the room. They are all connected now. And then the truth is finally revealed. We are pulled back into the memory of the accident. The crash, the explosion. But this time we see what really happened. The car didn't just crash, it exploded. Jay managed to crawl out, burning, screaming. He looked back. The car was engulfed in flames. He saw Arif, Momo, Nidhi, trapped inside. They were burning. He tried to run back to save them, but the force of the blast threw him back. He watched his siblings die in that fire. And Sufi, she was thrown clear. She survived. She called her father, screaming. Yujeng arrived to find a massacre. 4 bodies. Sufi, catatonic with shock, in the back of an ambulance. We realize now what happened at the house. The siblings who came home, who laughed and ate dinner, they were ghosts. They didn't know they were dead. They died on that mountain road, but their souls were so attached to Sufi, so desperate not to leave her alone, that they clung to the world of the living. Yujing knew. That's why he told them to stay inside. That's why he wouldn't let them leave. He was trying to keep them contained, trying to prepare the funeral rites to release their souls before they turned into vengeful spirits. The jinn he exorcised earlier, it had threatened revenge because it knew they were dead. It was feeding off the energy of the house. Madame Rose? She was a witch, a shaman, perhaps even the jinn in human form, trying to corrupt the souls of the dead for her own power. She wanted Arif to perform that ritual not to save them, but to bind them to her. The scene in the room shifts. We see the house as it really is, empty, ruined. Sufi is sitting on the floor, crying, holding the doll. The possessions were just her siblings trying one last time to communicate. Yujing is there, leading the prayers for the dead, the rituals. The atmosphere is thick with spiritual energy. Finally, the souls understand. They see their own bodies. They accept the truth. Arif, Joy, Momo, Nidhi, they gather around Sufi one last time. They are glowing now, peaceful. They tell her they love her. They tell her it's time to go. Sufi weeps, begging them not to leave her, but she knows they must. With a final burst of light, they vanish. The house is silent. The final scene is heartbreaking and beautiful. Yujing takes Sufi to the waterfall. The place they were going to visit before they died? They stand there, the water rushing down. It's a moment of closure. But then Madame Rose appears one last time. She stands at the edge of the trees. She looks at Sufi, and she drops the final bombshell. She didn't just die, Rose whispers, a cruel smile on her lips. She was killed. She looks at Yujing. Someone killed her. And you know it, don't you? Why don't you help her? She laughs, fading into the mist, leaving the question hanging in the air. Was the car accident really an accident? Or was there a darker hand at play? Sufi looks at her father, confusion and fear in her eyes. But Yujing just takes her hand, leading her away from the waterfall, away from the ghosts, away from the nightmare. But the mystery remains. And as the screen fades to black, you're left wondering, who really killed them? And is Sufi truly safe now? This story, it stays with you. It's not just about ghosts. It's about a family that loved each other so much, death couldn't make them let go. And sometimes love is the scariest thing of all. If this story followed you into the dark, or if you felt that chill down your spine like I did, let me know in the comments. I want to know what you think really happened to that car. And if you're new here, make sure you're subscribed. Because trust me, you don't want to face the next story alone.